Welcome back, friends, to the second video of the plotting of the graph. I was showing you in the first video I showed you the plotting of the sin x, cos x and the tan x. Now today I will be showing you y is equal to cot x. Today I will be showing you y is equal to cot x. So let's see, cot x is equal to cos x by sin x. So as I told you, the validity of the function will be if sin x is not equal to 0. Sin x should not be 0. So when is sin x 0? Sin x will be 0. See here, sin theta equal to 0 when theta will be n pi. That means I cannot choose those value of the sine where this sin x cannot be n pi. Sin x values cannot be n pi. The x values of the sine cannot be n pi. Because if n is 0, sin 0 is 0 and the function becomes invalid. If n is 1, it is pi. Sin pi is 0 and the function becomes invalid. That means my function will have x not equal to n pi. Because in those conditions, the whole function is becoming invalid. So let us first see how to plot the graph of the y equal to cot x. So here what we can see is, like if I draw a graph of y equal to cot x, first let me explain you, then you will understand that how the graph y equal to cot x is being plotted. So here we'll plot 1 and then at pi and then at 2 pi we will plot. So I'm showing you how to plot the graph of y equal to cot x. So at this point also I'll try to show you on both sides. We cannot choose values where x equal to n pi. We will not be choosing values at x equal to n pi. So let me first rub this so that I can explain you the graph properly. So if I plot the line here, now so I will explain you how we are deciding the values So friends, see, if I make it little bit perfect, then it becomes okay. Now this is fine. Now friends, watch here. As I was telling you, y equal to cot x, which means cos x by sin x. So we know in the first quadrant, sin pi by 2 minus theta, first quadrant sin is positive, cos is positive, result is positive. So let's see, first quadrant means from pi by 2 minus theta, this is 0, that means I am between 0 to pi by 2. What is the result of cos and sin? Product of cos and sin is positive. So we are in the positive region. We are in the positive region. Why? If sin is 0, it is 0 and the function becomes infinite. So as we approach the angle 0, the graph moves to the infinity. And when x is pi by 2, cos pi by 2 is 0, so the graph is passing from 0 here. It is pi, when x is pi by 2, the y function is 0. Similarly, when we are in the second quadrant, see, sin is positive, cos is negative, and the result is negative. Sin positive, cos negative, so the result is negative. So if I go pi by 2 plus theta, result is tending towards the minus infinity. Similarly, here, if I am going from pi by 2 plus theta, it is tending to minus infinity. If I am going from pi by 2 plus theta, then we are in the third quadrant. It is going towards the positive infinity. Okay. Similarly, if I am going from pi plus theta, so here see pi plus theta, sign is negative, cos is positive, cos is negative, result is positive. So both are positive. So pi plus theta, the result is moving towards the positive infinity. And this is pi by 2. So here 3 pi by 2 plus theta. Sin 3 pi by 2 plus theta is negative. Cos 3 pi by 2 plus theta is positive. Result is negative. So if I go from 3 pi by 2 plus theta, the result is negative. I am moving towards negative infinity. So this is the graph of y equal to cot x. Now I want to show you what is the domain and range of this. So domain of this graph will be, I cannot choose sin x, I cannot make sin x as 0. Means sin x 0 will be, theta will be n pi. That means I can choose all real values but not n pi. I can choose all real values of x but not n pi. Similarly, range of this function is from where, see, it is going from minus infinity to plus infinity. Range of this function is going from minus infinity to plus infinity. And this is how we plot the graph of the function y equal to cot x. Now friends, let us see the next one. We'll move on to the next one and see that if y is equal to SecX or CosecX, we want to find out what is the function which will make it y equal to SecX, and then we will see slowly y equal to CosecX. So let's see how to plot that. So I hope you have already seen my first video where already I have uploaded how to plot y is equal to sin x, cos x and tan x. I hope you have already seen that. So let me again rewrite this. This is pi by 2, this is pi, this is 3 pi by 2 and this is 2 pi. This is minus pi by 2, this is minus pi, this is 3 pi by 2 and this is 2 pi. So now I want to show you how to plot the function y is equal to sec x. Now sec x is what? 1 by cos x. Now this function will be invalid when cos x should not be 0. Okay, now cos theta is 0. What is the condition? Theta equal to 2n plus 1 pi by 2. That means I will not choose any value of x which is 2n plus 1 pi by 2. I will not choose these values. Okay, so let's first of all plot the graph, and in that graph let me first plot out the lines because it makes the graph quite neat and becomes easy to plot. So I would suggest you also please follow these, because when you represent a graph, then the graph should look proper, and when you draw a proper graph, then only you learn. So this is few lines you draw so that when you plot the graph, it becomes easy for you. Okay. So friends, although it's very difficult to draw a graph on a board, but I think the graph which I am drawing, you are able to understand, because I don't prefer to draw graphs in a rough manner. My preference is that you draw the graph as it should look. Okay, you should always draw the graph as it should look. For example, now let me first wipe this off. So my question is, so let me first show you how to plot the graph here. This is the y equal to 1 line. This is y equal to 1 and so this is 1, and here is y equal to minus 1 line. I'll explain you why am I drawing this. So this is minus 1, y equal to minus 1. So when you plot, first let me plot it, then I will explain you how I am getting the graph. How I will get the graph. First let me plot it. Okay. So here also okay, so now my graph is complete, and now let me show you. Watch here. Y equal to SecX means 1 by Cosec. See, cos is positive in the first quadrant. What is the maximum value of cos? When x is 0, cos is 1. So when x is 0, cos is 1. When x is 0, cos is 1. When x is pi, 180 degree, cos is minus 1. So x is pi means when x is pi, it is minus 1. See, when x is pi or minus pi, it is minus 1. Now watch. When x is pi by 2 minus theta, when the cos is, we will not consider sign here, cos pi by 2 minus theta, first quadrant is positive. So pi by 2 minus theta, that means what? We are in this part. So it should give me a positive result. So see, it is rising. Similarly, now watch here, cos pi plus theta is negative. Cos pi plus theta is giving me negative answer. So here pi plus theta is in this part. So watch here, the graph goes down. Similarly, cos 3 pi by 2 plus theta. This is 3 pi by 2 plus theta will be this part. Again the same graph will follow. Pi minus theta. So pi minus theta is what? Pi minus theta again is a negative graph. Similarly, this part will be, this is pi by 2 minus theta, but it is minus. Y equal to 1 by, if I tell cos minus pi by 2 plus theta, that means we are on this side. And cos pi by 2 minus theta, we know, is cos pi by 2 minus, cos of minus theta is cos theta. So cos, this minus will not be there, cos pi by 2 minus theta. As we know that, we already know cos of minus theta is what? Cos theta. So from here the minus will be out. So it will remain as pi by 2 minus theta, and we already know pi by 2 minus theta. Pi by 2 minus theta, okay, is in the first quadrant. So see, again this goes up. So the same pattern will remain. That means cos pi is minus 1. So the maximum value, which is the graph starts from 1, because cos 0 is 1 and cos pi is minus 1. So the graph will start from 1 and move up according to the following of these signs. Similarly, graph will start from minus 1 and will move down towards infinity. So from this graph, what we can find out is, if y equal to SecX, so we see that the domain of the graph, we can find that the domain of the graph will be x belongs to real number but not 2n plus 1 pi by 2. Not 2n plus 1 pi by 2. The domain of the graph will be x belongs to real number but not 2n plus 1 pi by 2, and the range of the graph will be what? See, it is, the range of the graph will be from minus infinity to minus 1, minus infinity to minus 1, minus infinity to minus 1, union, this is minus infinity and we are taking minus 1. So we have to give a box here. Again, from 1 to infinity. From 1 to infinity. So this is the range of the y equal to SecX. This is the range of the y equal to SecX. Okay, friends. So let's move on to the graph of y equal to, we have already done the SecX. We have to do now CotX and CosecX graphs are left. So let's see how we can plot those graphs. Y equal to CotX and CosecX. So just keep one thing, friends, in mind, that you really have to practice plotting these graphs a lot. Otherwise, you will be having trouble. Okay, you have to keep practicing these graphs. So now let us see how to plot y equal to CotX. Y equal to CotX. Now CotX is what? CotX is minus, this is CotX is CosX by sin x. CotX is CosX by sin x. So I know that in this graph to be valid, the sin x part cannot be 0. That means x cannot be n pi. X cannot be n pi. So let us plot this. Let us plot the graph of y equal to CotX. For that, what we need again certain lines to be drawn. First, let me plot the graphs, and in that case I will be showing you how to draw the graphs. So first of all, let us see. So here freehand drawing is very difficult. So friends, I am trying to draw freehand as smooth as possible. Okay, so let's now explain the graph to you. Y equal to CotX, which is CosX by sin x. So see, if sin is 0, the function tends to 0, 1 by 0, it tends to infinity. It tends to infinity. And when cos is 0, when it is pi by 2, cos pi by 2, sin pi by 2, cos pi by 2 is 0, so the value of the y is 0. Okay. Now watch here. If I take pi by 2 minus theta, sin pi by 2 minus theta, cos pi by 2 minus theta, sin and cos both are positive, so the result is pi by 2 minus theta, result is going towards the positive. Similarly, pi by 2 plus theta cos and sin pi by 2 plus theta cos pi by 2 plus theta, plus minus is negative. So if I take pi by 2 plus theta, result is going towards the negative infinity. Similarly, if I take sin pi plus theta, which is negative, cos pi plus theta is negative, negative, positive. So this is pi plus theta, and the result is a positive. So pi plus this region will be positive infinity. Similarly, see, 3 pi by 2 plus theta is negative, 3 pi by 2 plus theta of cos is positive. Result is negative. So 3 pi by 2 plus theta, result is negative. So this is how it repeats on both sides. Okay, this is how it repeats on both sides. So the range, so the domain, as I already told you, x will belong to real number but not n pi, and the range of this will be from, as you can see, that it's coming from minus infinity to plus infinity. This is the range of the function. This is the range of the function, minus infinity to plus infinity. Okay, so let's now plot another one. So we have left with what? We have left with, I think, only with cosec x. So we have left with cosec x. So let me show you how to plot the cosec graph of this. So This is a very time consuming thing because it takes up a lot of time to erase and then again plot, because you constantly have to write these values, which is really, so you need to have some patience, friends, because patience is everything which will give you the result. So I hope you understand what I am telling, that you keep patience while drawing this. So let us again plot it. So this is minus pi by 2, this is minus pi, this is minus 3 pi by 2, this is minus 2 pi. Now this is 0, pi, it is pi by 2, this is pi, 3 pi by 2, and this is 2 pi. So we want to plot y is equal to cosec x, and which is 1 by sin x. So we know that denominator cannot be 0. So in that case, the sin x cannot be 0. That means x cannot be n pi. X cannot be n pi. Okay. So let us now see how to plot this. X cannot be n pi. Okay. So watch. Again, let me draw the graph first of all, because what you need to do is first of all plot the graph. Okay, so this is positive y. What you need to do is first of all plot the graph. Okay. So friends, the graph basically they are symmetrical on both sides, so there is nothing to worry about. And this is plus 1. So let us draw a line of plus 1, y equal to plus 1, and minus 1. Let us draw a line of y equal to minus 1. So this is y equal to minus 1. So here what we can do is, first of all, I'll explain you first, because when I'll explain you with the graph, it becomes very easy. Okay, this is one of them, and then we have to do okay. Now friends, so let's see. So this is the graph of y is equal to cosec x. So watch here, friends, this is 1 and this is minus 1. Obviously this is minus